Good evening. My name is John, and this is the Homestead Diary. I want to talk to you a little bit about what we are doing in regards to working on our mag and working on growing our sense of community here and growing the literal community. We have been participating for about 2.5 months in a local homeschooling group. And we found out about this entirely by accident. We were in the grocery store. It was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. And we're on our way out, and Amber looks up at the bulletin board and sees a sign saying, "Hey, homeschooling meetup." And it's at the local park, and it starts now. And so we went over there. It was only a mile or so away. And there was a group of, I don't know, a dozen parents and probably 30 children, and they were out playing a game of soccer. And it was really neat. I don't know if we went to the first one or the second one, but very early on we were fortunate enough to find out about this. And it was just a meeting of people getting together who did homeschooling and were looking for an opportunity to get out with their children and so have their children socialize as well as the adults socialize, and not get socialized, but actually socialize and get to know one another. And this has kind of evolved through the months. It still is true to its original intent of at the actual event. It's a meetup of the kids get together and they play a variety of games. We do some organized things, and often parents will bring things like a giant Jenga game where it's blocks like this big and there's 200 of them, and they make a tower this tall, and you don't want to be in the way when it falls over because it makes quite the crash. Anyway, everybody is doing their own little input things. Some people bring actually brownies and hot chocolate and different things like that on a cold day. And so it's been neat in that regard. It's also been really neat to watch relationships and friendships blossom. Obviously, different children gravitate toward other children, but it's never in the sense of a clique. There isn't a sort of thing where, well, I only hang out with those people or these people, or those people are gooder or better or whatever than these people. There's not that sort of thing. There's very much a sense of we are all here to hang out together, and it's just a really neat feeling to watch groups of kids. I mean, 30, 40 children hanging out playing for several hours, and no fights, no arguing, no weirdness. I mean, and maybe I just don't see it because I'm like old and stuff, but we see it with the parents where there are certain people that I talk to more than others, but I could walk up to any parent at any time and start saying, "Hey, do you know about this? And what about that? And what are your thoughts about the state of the world in regarding to this or whatever?" Everybody seems to be very open-minded and very interested in connecting with other parents. And so it's been a lot of fun. Now, what's grown out of that is we are working to create what we call Homestead Exchange. And a Homestead Exchange is where a group of people decide to help each other on a somewhat regular basis is what we'd like to see. And this is kind of like the old school Amish barn raising thing, the Amish bond raising thing, where people get together and a group of families will go over to someone's homestead and they'll help them put up a barn. And that's really, truly what we're looking to do is a group of us. And it doesn't have to be 30 adults or 20 adults. It could be, say, 3 families, maybe 4 families, and we agree that on every Friday we're going to go to somebody's house. And this week it's Susie and her husband, and next week it's Bob and his wife, and everybody just goes over to their place. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be we're going to put up a barn or we're going to put up a shed or some major project. It could be a series of smaller projects, or hey, we had a huge windstorm last week and then the dogs got into the trash. And so we're going to all grab bags and we're going to make a line and we're going to walk through the woods like we're snipe hunting, only we're catching trash. And we're going to pick up all the garbage that blew through the trees just to help each other out. And I think it's really a good idea. I've heard of other people doing this sort of thing. It's taken some time to find people who are like-minded, who are really interested in helping each other. And while we're still in our infancy, I'm very, very optimistic about what we can do with this, because we're really building some good contact with folks. We're meeting a lot of people who they're not from here. And while God bless them, the folks here they're good, honest, hardworking, God-fearing people. Most of them don't really have the same understanding of what those of us who are refugees from the built up areas, in particular the coastal areas, have gone through. A lot of them don't understand the trauma because, hey, there was this public health crisis and then people got a few shots and then it all just kind of went away. And yeah, we did the mask thing for, a month or two. And then we said, hey, people aren't really dying in the streets. So we're not too worried about it. We're just going to go back to normal. And for a lot of rural areas, it was like that. But on the coast, and even in the rural areas of the coast, it wasn't like that. And in the built-up areas, it wasn't like that. And a lot of people were traumatized by this. And a lot of people that we're meeting that are coming into the homeschooling group deal on a daily basis with the memories of what we went through. And I know I would never compare it to what a veteran goes through in a fight, literal PTSD where they were in danger of life and limb, that sort of thing. It's not like that, but PTSD for other reasons are real. And those of us who have experienced that, and now we have come out of her to try to escape that sort of thing, and we very successfully have to a large degree, we're doing a lot of bonding, we're doing a lot of getting together, and it's just wonderful to be around these like-minded folks. And so definitely we'll keep you updated on how these homestead exchanges go. We actually have a thing ongoing it started this morning, last night. I'm not sure. Anyway, there's a couple who have a young child who went out of town for a couple of weeks to visit family back in, Oregon, I guess. And they needed people to take care of their homestead. And within the homeschooling group, we all coordinated and said, well, you can take Tuesday and I can take Friday, and we're going to go there and we're going to let the chickens out and you come and bring them back in the evening, and we're going to feed the cow and feed the cats and water the plants and all those sorts of things. And so really hoping that this becomes a normal thing. We were super blessed when we had to travel this past summer for a couple of months out of state, and some neighbors helped us out for a while, and then some other neighbors helped us out for a while. And what do you know, the animals were still alive when we got back home. Very exciting. And so hoping that this sort of thing can continue and we can build on it and create this true mutual assistance group with like-minded folks within our community. Hope you all have a blessed day.